educational trading video for our true Harmonics. Today we're going to be looking at a trade on band, checking on Binance. We've got a nice 12-hour formation and the anti-bat. Now you may be looking at this thinking, why is X anchor here? We're always told to take it from the true swing low, right? Which is here. I've placed mine here. Now, unless you have made it to block 3, if you're watching this, you will not understand, and I will not break it down in this video, but we call it the situational X anchor. Okay, and the situation being, there is no other harmonics that this can form. Okay, even with this as a swing low, pushing lower, nothing adds up. As I say, you will get to that in block 3 and you will understand. We do not look for these normally. It is very situational. So if you're watching this, please understand that you should be taking it from here, the true swing low or swing high, every time. If you don't know what you're doing here, you shouldn't really be doing it. Otherwise, you're likely going to get yourself in trouble with trading. Our white lines here is the BD2, true Fibonacci line, and the bottom one is the 1128, true Fibonacci line. The grey box is the true PRZ, my own method that I have created that we teach within the Discord. So if any of this stuff interests you, feel free to join us. We're going to be checking on one of our trades today that we took. That was back around August 2024. So we'll add price action, see how we go with it. And when we know once we get our bounce, we can add in Fibonacci retracement. That's from the C point, in this case the highest point, whether it's A or C. C here to our lowest point and our PRZ before reversal. Okay, which is just a little bit below the 2. So you would not have needed my advanced method to enter this, but you may have needed to know about the situational X anchor. Okay, and you need to know harmonics quite well to know that, to be fair. This is reversing on a 382, or at least bouncing off of it quite clean. We like to see that break, of course. Looking down here, this is in the true PRZ here, you know, very, very small drop below. Without my advanced method, you should have called this 0.31%. You know, this is the kind of accuracy we aim for in every trade. This is why we can afford to use higher leverage. To a degree, we still play it safe a lot of the time, as we're competent traders. And more importantly, we're consistent traders, so we do not need to be taking high risk with capital, because it's crypto at the end of the day. We may think we're right, but that never means much. The market will soon humble us all. So let's add some more price action. I'll see if I can keep up with it. I see again, we're finding resistance in our ratio box, which is pretty common. We either usually see it as resistance or flip to support. Not every time, sometimes it's not respected either way. By which I mean, you know, we push above and then down below, you know, it's not helping at all. It doesn't give us much clue and much direction on that, if we're strong or not. As you can see, we pulled back here, but we have not touched the PRZ. So we'll continue. Again, we broke above there, but we're pushing below and finding resistance again. So this ratio box isn't providing much help. Yeah, it's guiding our eyes, but with this break above, you know, you expect it to reverse within. So you're not getting longs or shorts here. It would be too much of a gamble. As you can see, up and down, up and down. If that happens the first time, you ignore it. You want to see full reversal like this for it to be classed as decent resistance, you know. So we've pushed pretty high now. Okay, we usually target our A and C points. If you want to take profit on the A point because it's lower, go for it. They're quite far apart. Okay, when they're quite far apart, it's fair to take profit on both if you want. If they're close together, you just take the one that's just marginally lower, just in case you reverse from that point. So we've cleared the 1 Fibonacci, that's harmonic completion. After that, we aim for the 1618, and that's all we really have. Of course, we can target higher Fibonacci numbers, but it's the only one we'll use for this specific formation. You should be looking for reversals at this point, reversal patterns that is. Clean above the 1618, you got a nice test to push higher again before a dramatic reversal. I assume there was a lot of profit taking around this area. We didn't hold higher Fibonacci's, that is a very strong push below. So let's look at our P&L and see how we manage this. Clear this up a little bit. Bring this to the front, make it nice and big so we can all read it. Entry 0.912. Okay, so that's because I had a DCA here at 9.24, and then I got a DCA again at 0.894. Okay, with a larger buy on this line, of course, so it brings my average down quite a lot in this case. We always add a little bit on the top because we can never be sure if we're going to bounce from here and take off. So we want to have something in the trade, right? But we don't put too much, because if we put all of our capital in there and then we go to the bottom of the PRZ, we could get liquidated, okay? Because if this is invalid, we've been stopped out with maximum capital in the trade. It's bad risk management, it's bad trading etiquette. So we like to average into these PRZs, getting larger and larger as we get closest to the stop. This means when we're inside the PRZ and we push higher, we're back in profit before we've even cleared the PRZ. Okay, this is good risk management. Where did we stop? 2.32, which, as you can see on a 20x, is substantial returns. It's 3,000 odd percent. They're almost 3,100. Okay, so this PRZ itself down here is, let me check, about 6.5%. Okay, so it's quite large. That's why, I mean, even 20x is probably too high. It's just leverage I'm used to using. You shouldn't be using more than 15, I would say 15. And even that is probably still too high because that's risking a liquidation from your first entry. But that's kind of how we judge what leverage to use. I'm used to using 20x. It's my risk to take. I can afford to lose it. Force of habit. Same as sometimes I should be using much higher leverage on the likes of a 1% PRZ. I'll still use 20x, not thinking that I should have bumped that up to 60, 70x. Okay, it's just what I'm used to doing. That's a bit of a bummer, but what to do? So let's pencil off this 2.3229. Okay, that is pretty much the top. So let's add more price action. You see we got a bounce on our ratio there. But then when you break below, you'll really be de-risking. Of course, with this shape, you should be looking for bullish reversals. There may very well be a bullish pattern here, okay? So you would have held, and then when the PRZ breaks, not a good sign. And had you just held all the way through expecting it to be bull market glory, you would have round tripped or worse, lost money. Now that should never happen. That would be terrible trading on your part if that happened. You should have taken at least some profit to cover a stop out. At the very worst, breaking even here. Okay, now we clipped a lot of this quite high. I'd say quite high, literally a cent from the top. Why did we know how to take profit here? Harmonics again. Got this bearish A, B, C, D pattern, the 1 to 2, and then around this area Pretty clean cut, should be taking profit all within this area, especially when we see reversal. So this has been our trade management for band. We got the entry for the bullish anti-bar with over 3,000% returns. We knew we were expecting some kind of resistance here, or hoping it would flip to support. We practically sold the top on it, and just as well. Had you held on, you would have completely round tripped here, which would not be good at all, people. Okay, at the very least, you should be de-risking so you break even. Even that would be bad trading etiquette, you know. You should be making money. You should be taking profit, plain and simple. Do not round trip. Keep on top of it with your harmonics. Okay, folks. So this is a harmonic to another harmonic. You will see this from key points. Pretty common stuff that I teach in the blocks as well. Thank you for watching, folks.